So I think Jawas are so cute, and I was really excited to cosplay one. Every year for the last 4 years, I've been telling myself that I wanted to cosplay a Jawa for May the 4th, but May the 4th kind of crept up on me every single year. So this year I finally decided to do it. I did some research on how to put together this Jawa cosplay, and it's not going to be screen accurate what I'm going to show you today. It's not going to get you in the 501st, but it is something that is recognizable, made people really excited when they saw me, and I think it took me about a week. The longest part was just waiting for the materials to arrive. So, first things first, I tackled the robe because if I couldn't figure out the robe, then I wasn't going to waste my time, energy, and money on the other parts of the cosplay, right? So, the robe you could accomplish by just finding like a large tunic pattern and just cutting that out of monk's cloth if you want the fabric to be right, or any other brown material, depending on how screen accurate you want it to be. But in order for it to be a screen accurate Jawa, you can't have the shoulder seam. So like you can't have this seam if you're doing a screen accurate Jawa. I want to try to accomplish this by using monk's cloth, which is the fabric that you're supposed to be using if you want it to be screen accurate. And I bought, I think, 4 yards by 2 yards was the cut, so a lot of monk's cloth. I'll link it in the description below. And I filmed myself unfolding the monk's cloth, and I kind of felt like a child when I would unfold snowflakes that I would cut out of paper. And sometimes when you cut a fold wrong, or you snip something that you shouldn't be snipped, and then all of a sudden like unfolds into separate pieces and it doesn't look anything like a snowflake. Well, that was what was going through my mind when I was unfolding this monk's cloth, hoping that it was a robe, or like the pieces of a robe that I would need. So let me show you that video, and I'll explain to you my thoughts and feelings and inner dialogue while I was doing that. I folded it twice, as you can see, and here's me double checking to make sure that it worked after I cut it. I don't know why. And this is the shape that I needed to cut it in to have the sleeves and no shoulder seam. As you can see, it's very long. You have to make sure that it is as long as you are tall. And you cannot hear because I muted the clip, but my heart is beating, and I think I'm going, oh no, 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 because I thought that I had folded it and cut it wrong. So I am now opening it up and praying that I cut like this very expensive fabric, because it was $50 for all of this, correctly. And thankfully, you can probably, or you can't, but if the sun was on, you would be able to hear literal cheers of glee as I'm opening it up, and it looks exactly as I'm supposed to have it. After I unfolded the monk's cloth, I had to do a zigzag stitch around the entirety of the robe because I made the mistake of not washing the fabric before I cut out the pattern. I know I'm awful, but I was afraid that I wouldn't be able to fit all the fabric into the pot that I had to dye it, and so I just wanted to cut out the pattern first. But definitely wash it before you cut out the pattern, because with monk's cloth it will shrink a lot. After I cut out the pattern, washed it, I dyed it with this cocoa brown color. The cocoa brown is not the right color if you want it to be screen accurate, or if you're trying to get into the 501st. You're gonna have to do more research beyond this video if you are looking to get a screen accurate brown color. And after I dyed it, I sewed up, you just fold it up and you sew down the sides and you have a robe. You like pick at the ends a little bit because you want the frayed look. You just don't want it to completely unravel. And then you can also like cut like a little slit in the neck hole if it's too small and you can't get over. I've seen some people put even deeper slit and then a snap or a magnet to have it tightly around your neck, but I didn't find the need for that. That is the robe, and very simple project. It took me a day on and off from start to finish to complete this. The hood is literally a square, or actually it's a rectangle that's folded into a square and then given a seam. It's very, very easy. Make sure that you line your fabric with something black. This was just scrap fabric that I had. And then I just put a wire in around the edge of the hood so I can properly shape it around my face and keep it open and standing up. At the ends, you have these strips, and that's what you use just to tie around your head. It doesn't stay attached to the robe. You just kind of tie it on, kind of like a bonnet. Next, we have the mask. This part I just bought from Amazon. It is just kind of like a Halloween face covering mask. I'll link it in the description below. I originally tried to put this over a hockey mask. Here's the hockey mask that I tried to put it over, but I didn't like the nose. But if you don't have a 3D printer, a hockey mask will be just fine. I was just being extremely meticulous when I was trying to figure out how to make the face of this. Underneath on the mask, there was even like these eye positions where it marked where you need to put the magnets for the eyes, and so I just have strong magnets right there. But I just printed these in transparent filament. Again, like the under mask, I found these eyes on Thingiverse. I then wired up a warm white LED light that I put underneath the lenses, and then I secured everything together with a battery. I think I need to find a way to secure them a little bit more. I didn't have any issues with them falling off, but I think in the future, if I wear it for longer, it might become an issue where I might need to like drill a hole in the lenses and like actually stick the lights in and then glue the battery to the outside. And then for the mask, it didn't come with holes, so I made a little buttonhole where you stitch around the buttonhole to put in a button, but instead it put the lights. And I was worried about the battery running out during the convention, so each light has its own battery. These are 3-volt batteries, and then the LEDs are 2 point something to 3-volt warm white LED lights that I just wired to the battery holder switch thingy. There's no reason to go through the pain and the frustration of making gloves, and I'm not that good into leather yet, so I wasn't going to tackle this on with the amount of time that I had. So Amazon has a perfect bandolier for this cosplay. I'm pretty sure it was even called Jawa bandolier, so of course I'll link these in the description as well. For the boots, I just bought black rain boots in case the robe were to like be hiked up or whatever, it wouldn't be like bright pink or yellow. And then scraps from making the robe and the hood, I just took and I used E6000 glue. Do not use hot glue to glue these straps on the boots. They will fall off. They will just fall off. Like nothing even has to tug on them. They won't stick. So make sure you use some sort of strong glue so they stay on and you can walk around without worrying about tripping over your own boot scraps. And I had this leftover bodysuit from a previous cosplay that I was doing, so I decided to like recycle it or repurpose it, and I dyed it black, and it is very comfortable. It's lightweight, it breathes, it does make sure that I'm not too hot. However, I would highly recommend that you don't wear a bodysuit for this cosplay. It will definitely be more comfortable when you need to use the restroom. And then I went to Vegas, and my biggest goal when going to Vegas was to get pictures of myself as a Jawa in the desert. And as I was practicing my poses, I wasn't quite sure what to do with my hands. So I printed this out 2 days before I went to Vegas so I would have something to do with my hands while I was posing for photos. And I didn't put it together very well. I think it's supposed to be a lot more impressive. I just kind of threw things together and glued it together. You can even put lights at the end. I didn't do that because I had a day to put everything together. But it looks really good in photos, so I will link this as well if you have a 3D printer. That is my Jawa. I'm very happy with this cosplay. But thank you so much. Let me know if you have any specific questions about my cosplay creation process, and I will definitely answer any questions that you might have if I can. And I'm looking forward to showing y'all what I do next.